Good evening and welcome to the Gaunt podcast. A very simple, I think it's a simple question. Trump or Starmer? Which form of leadership do you prefer? Been a massive day on the domestic and on the world stage today, but who do you prefer? Trump or Starmer? I'm going to do something different tonight. I'm going to start off with a comment. Bonnie Scott 470 said, Mr. Trump all the way, Starmer is a maggot. Thank you very much indeed, Robin Day. If you've got a view, I want to hear it. Write your comments in the box and we'll come straight to them as soon as I've done the intro. So it's Trump or Starmer. Whose side are you on? Because it's going to become critical. We're on the verge of World War III, or we could be. What on earth is happening in the North Atlantic? Who do you trust most, Starmer or Trump? That's what we're debating this evening. Please, let's have your comments as quickly as possible, because we have two leaders, two completely different visions of power and leadership. On the one side, there's Donald Trump. He's bold, he's unapologetic, and he's willing to take action whilst others, whilst others hesitate. He's just overseen an unprecedented seizure and boarding of two Venezuelan-linked oil tankers. That's after deposing the foul dictator just a couple of days ago. This is all happening in the North Atlantic. It's part of sweeping pressure onto the former Maduro regime, and it's all about a push to control Venezuelan oil in defiance of global criticism. A lot of people are saying that Trump is going to lead us into a war. Other people are saying his preemptive strikes, I've got to say this, we helped today as well. It was some of our RAF giving logistical background. So we'll see what happens about that when the proverbial hits the fan. There's going to be an announcement in the Commons later today. But who do you prefer, Starmer or Trump? Trump would say he's doing this because what's going to happen, Venezuela is really, it's a cover story for a kind of proxy war that's going on between the States and Russia and China. This is what Greenland is all about as well. You do realize that, don't you? So where do you stand? Because on the other side, compared to Trump, there's Keir Starmer, cautious, process-driven, a lawyer, establishment-orientated, I think is fair to say, and he's focusing on steady governance at home. But we hate him, don't we? So do you prefer Trump's assertive, action-fast style of leadership? Is that the way we've got to be? The leader who moves without waiting to get consensus. He thinks the United Nations is a waste of space. I don't think he's going to be in NATO much longer. Or do you stand with Starmer, a more measured, rule by institution approach to leadership here in the UK? Do we need that more calm, well-mannered approach? Or is it time to get the gloves off like Trump is doing? Because a poll released today talks about Starmer. He's got the worst ever ratings now. 70% of people in this country can't stand him. I've never met a politician in all my career, 25, 30 years. People would often say, oh, Maggie Thatcher, what a bitch, or she's a fascist, she's this. But other people would say, no, she's great. Starmer, it seems that universally everybody hates him, or maybe that's just the people I mix with. So it's fierce global action versus steady domestic leadership, military boldness versus legal caution, strength or restraint. I guess what Trump says is, I'm strong, you mess with me, or he actually says, if you fuck with me, I'm going to fuck you up. That's what he's like, a gangster. But is that what we need against Russia and China? I don't really know. I'd like to know what you think tonight. Is Trump the kind of leader you want, or is Starmer the one you trust more? Or maybe it's a bit of both. There you go. Tell me. But listen to this new YouGov poll. And it's a poll, I know. But it's putting Keir Starmer's disapproval rating at 70%. That's not a warning light on the dashboard. That's your engine on bloody fire. So the question then is Keir Starmer already a dead man walking? He can't connect with us at home, can he? But Donald Trump is a worldwide star. Love him or loathe him, you can't not ignore him. He's acting decisively. He projects power. He's doing exactly what his MAGA supporters want. Is he the leader we need at the moment? Do you want action, clarity, and confrontation, or caution, process, and managerial politics? So tonight isn't about political parties. It's about pure leadership and whether Starmer's version is already being rejected by the public. Let's have your comments, please, in the comment box. I'll be coming to them as soon as I can. But that's the big debate tonight. So where are you on this? We've had 3 likes already. That's useless. Come on. I've already done a podcast earlier today. This is the second one. And you're not paying. Just get organised. Get involved. Who do you prefer? Because whether you like it or not, we are intrinsically linked with the states. He gave a clear warning to the world last week with Venezuela, nicking their president, so to speak, and putting him on trial in New York. Now he's going against the sanction-busting oil tankers. But the weird thing in all this is that oil tanker is empty. There's no oil in it. So what is the real story behind that? And when will we find out? But evidently there's another 30 tankers which he's going to have to take. And the story is today that the Russians have got a military escort with these tankers, submarines. Is Trump dicing with World War III? Or do you not care? Or do you just think Trump's the man? I don't know. Trump sometimes winds me right up. But at least he's powerful. At least he's a man, a proper man. He's got a pair, hasn't he? I can't think of a prime minister we've had since Maggie who has got a pair of bollocks, yeah? So is it better to be like that? I don't know. I want your views. So it's, here we go, Trump or Starmer? That's the question that John Gaunt's asking tonight on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Why don't you join in and have your say? Forever, here we go. It's going to get going. There's loads of people trying to get on board. Forever English. BNP says, Trump, 100%. You misread my post earlier on your podcast. I did one earlier on. You can catch it later. I said tanker and wanker. So now say sorry. Don't you tell me what to do on my show. And for fifth's sake, Starmer is the wanker. Yeah, okay. Well, I understand now. Am I meant to understand everything you say straight away? You ever done a live show? I just don't need you having a go at me tonight. I've got some other problems that I'm trying to deal with at the same time. I'm giving you 2 podcasts. Just behave yourself and enjoy it, for God's sake. Let's move on. Who's this? That's me asking you if you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe. That is important. If you do like the show, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And that is John Gaunt TV. And you find it on YouTube. Oh, I have got one apology to make, apart from that one I've just kind of half made. Sorry, we're 15 minutes late. It should have been 6 o'clock. I had a technical hitch. It's called sausage fingers. I pressed the wrong button and deleted most of my info. So that's what happened. So we're up and running now, though. And if you're watching later or listening later on a podcast, don't forget, by going to John Gaunt TV on YouTube, you can watch all the videos again. All the archive is there. And you can also donate. If you fancy donating to keep these things going, maybe I can get sausage finger transplants. I don't know. Just please press that button next to the comments, the $, and donate whatever you can, whether it's £1, £2, 10 quid, 5 quid, 1,000 quid, some chance, 100 quid, whatever you fancy. If not, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. There's loads to talk about. Who do you prefer? Who do you prefer? That's the question. And there's the first donation of the night. Jim Garfield on YouTube. He's just whacked in a £5. He says the coalition of the useless, Starmer, Macron, etc., quite rightly seen as a complete and utter irrelevance by Trump. Strong president means a strong world. Yeah, Charlie Wolf, who used to be a mate of mine, used to be a DJ. Do you remember him? He used to say, he's an American, and he used to say, strong president, strong America, safe world. And that is, as far as I'm concerned, absolutely right. But you might think Trump's a warmonger. Don't forget, in his first term, he didn't go to war. Count how many wars Obama got involved in. So there's a lot of negativity towards Trump. But Trump is clearly sending a message now, not just to the dictators of Central and South America, and then indeed Africa. He's also sending a message to the despots of Russia and China. Don't F with America. Is it reckless? Is it sensible? I would like to have your views. And don't forget, if you want to donate, press the $. Stephen Hall says, evening, everyone. Evening. Leanne Teal, 7251, says, Trump, Starmer is a can't. I think you spelled can't wrong, but thank you very much indeed. Maz, A5568, says, Trump. This is an interesting one. Winston Johnston, 7947 on YouTube, says, I trust none of them. Well, that's a fair point after recent politics over the past few years. I know where you're coming from. It ties in with all the big stories today as well. I mean, in my earlier podcast, I'm talking about the situation with Starmer as well. If you want to comment on that one, feel free. But it just seems to me that at the moment, domestic and world politics are absolutely combining. And we've got to have our say. Because today in the Commons, Starmer was saying that he made the announcement yesterday he's going to send our boys and girls to die in Ukraine. He didn't put it like that. He said to help defend Ukraine. Why are we defending Ukraine when we can't even secure our own borders at Dover? He hasn't got an answer to that. And he hasn't gone to the Commons and asked for permission. He says, oh, I'll go later when it's definitely happening. This man is turning into a despot. President Trump, could you send over a big helicopter and take this moron away? Some people are saying. What do you think? So these things are definitely all connected. UK, China, Ukraine, Russia, the tankers. What leader do we need at this moment? And I'm looking for you to tell me what you think. The tanker off the coast of Scotland, oh, he's talking to me again. Forever English, thank you. The tanker off the coast of Scotland was being escorted by a sub. There were 2 P-8 planes in the area. It was carrying just oil. It's not just oil, even if it was, which it's not. It's empty by all accounts. But it's not oil they should have. There's a ban on oil from Venezuela. They've been tracking this ship for 2.5 weeks across the Atlantic. I think you need to look at your facts a little bit further, my friend. Peter Pierce, he just says, Trump all day long. What do you say? Starmer the bastardizer. Google it. I haven't got time to Google nonsense. Oh, I know what that means. Listen, do you want to end up in court? Go and do it on your own little website. Don't do it on mine. All right? All right? Until something is proven, shut up. Stephen Hall just says Trump. Annette Locke, she's a regular here on YouTube. She says Trump any day of the week. If I had to directly choose between them, it would have to be Trump for me as well. But what do you think? You are human if you go for Trump. I don't know what that means, Pete Pierce. Pam Forrester, 844 on YouTube. They're not after me. They're after you. I'm only in the way. Donald J. Trump. Is that what he said? Fair enough. Thank you. I don't trust lawyers, full stop, says Stephen Hall. And of course, Starmer is a lawyer. Thank you very much indeed for your comments. Are you worried that this conflict now with Russia about these tankers could actually mean that we get looked at as the 51st state, so to speak? And also maybe you take the view that he's a megalomaniac. I don't know. What do you make of the Greenland situation? Because you do know what's going to happen. The United States are going to be controlling Greenland within the next few weeks, because these wimps, this coalition of the willing, the coalition of the wets, the coalition of the flipping useless, they're just going to bend over because there's no way they can do anything without America's money. That's why Starmer hasn't had any say. All these military planes, tankers and everything else have come into Britain. They reckon the attack was actually, it happened from Iceland, but there's no way that Starmer can say no to Trump. So we are going to get dragged into it one way or another. Good song, one way or another. I'm going to get you one way. Who's that? Anyway, somebody will tell me in a minute. But I think Starmer should be upfront about this. And I certainly don't think he should be getting into any kind of conflict with Russia via Ukraine. There's bigger fish to fry at the moment. And I don't want our kids and our grandkids to go and fight there. I want them, if they're going to be anywhere, to defend our borders. With me or against me? Come on, let's have some comments from you. The world takes courage now, and Trump is the only man with the balls to take it on, says Annette Locke. Thank you, Annette. Do you agree with that? Please excuse me. I've got terrible, terrible hiccups. Starmer wouldn't pull the trigger on a charging grizzly bear for fear of breaking the law. Yeah, he'd want to get permission first. Although I like your point, Liam, but he's a hypocrite though, isn't he? Because when it's international law, whatever that means, backs him up, then he dithers. He dithers and he dallies, yeah? Dally and a dither, da-da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, he does. But then he'll go and just make a unilateral decision. Like while he was standing in Parliament today, he must have known that the helicopters and the planes were on the way to intercept that tanker. And he didn't really say anything about it. But he couldn't, I suppose. But then Kemi Badenoch was giving him the kick-in of all kick-ins at Prime Minister's questions. Like to get your views on that. Like to get your views on that if you fancy. Julian SM5QV, he's just become a new member of our YouTube channel. Thank you. Very simple to do. You go to John Gaunt TV on YouTube, free to subscribe, but then you can become a member if you want. And there's 2 levels of membership. I think one's $1.99, one's 99p. I don't know, a month. Have a look at it if you want to try that out as well. All the money is helpful, of course. Pete Pierce, 100% Trump. Thank you very much indeed. The petrol dollar is guaranteed another 50 years thanks to Trump. Yeah. Well, Hulu is beginning to make a bit more sense now. It's true. It is linked to that, isn't it? It is linked to keeping the petrol dollar and keeping the American dollar the dominant currency of the world. I understand that. There's all these other little levels happening all the time. But who's going to make us safer? Who is going to make us safer? That's the question. And the other question is, if 70% of people now completely disapprove of Starmer, he's got no mandate to stay in power. Problem is, they haven't got anyone to replace him. And then the next problem is, do we need a general election just when we got all this international conflict? You can come in at any level in this debate. Please feel free. What's this one? John Stead is number 1. Starmer is not a leader. He's a cowardly, sycophantic follower at best. I can't argue with that. I think you're right. 100% Trump, says Andrew Dunn, 1609, and he's on YouTube. Trump loves us and we love him, says Angela Huxley. Okay, Angela, thank you very much indeed for your comment today. If you're just joining in, my name's John Gaunt. It's the John Gaunt podcast. I'm on here every day, Monday to Thursday, 6 o'clock normally. We're a little bit late tonight. I sometimes do extra ones. I did an extra one today because I thought we had to talk about Ukraine and we had to talk about what Starmer's up to. So that's up as well if you want to look at it. You'll find them all of my podcasts, there's about 200 of them, on John Gaunt TV, all one word, on YouTube. Go there, a little pop-up comes up and says, do you want to join? Subscribe. I know the word subscribe puts some people off because it sounds like you're going to give money. You don't. It's free just to join. And then you're like on a virtual mailing list. Every time I do an extra show, you'll know about it. You can, of course, donate because I fund this purely off my own back and through donations from people, or a little bit of advertising money now as it gets more popular. I mentioned on the last podcast just earlier today we've now had 2.2 million views, which I don't think is too bad. And the success of all this is largely down to you. And it's certainly down to people who donate. So if you can afford a £5, £2, a tenner, 50, whatever, just click the little dollar sign next to the comments box and send us a bit of cash. Otherwise, do it by going to buymeacoffee.com, www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Thank you. I'm not going to read that out forever English because I'm not sure that information is 100% correct. Got to be careful tonight what we're saying. Starmer couldn't lead a puppy down the garden. Trump is a true leader. This is Jackie Ward. He believes in himself and therefore people believe in him also. He is strong. Starmer is weak. I think you've summed it up with those 6 words. I don't agree with everything Trump says or does, but I do respect him as a leader. Thank you, Jackie. I think that is a brilliant contribution. Thank you very much to the debate. Did you see their Minister for War, whatever his name is, the ex-Marine, and Marcus Rubio, they've just given like a press conference at the bottom of an escalator where they're basically saying we're not going to be messed with. And is that the signal we should be sending out at the moment? Like to get your opinion on that, please. The coalition of the useless Starmer Mac. Oh, this is from Jim Garfield. He donated a £5. This is his comment that he made. Quite rightly seen as a complete and utter irrelevance by Trump, who's a strong president. And a strong president equals a strong world. Thank you, Jim, and thank you for your very generous donation of a £5. I hope the snowstorm stops. The crossings for a few days. Yeah, don't know whether it will. It's not been snowing where I am today. In fact, it's warmed up quite a bit, but is it snowing in the channel? Stephen Hall says Charlie Wolf was brilliant. Yeah, he got very, very poorly. I used to know him very well, actually. And he certainly had a particular style of talk radio presentation. He was a nice chap as well. Annette Locke, I'm just hoping we get up in the morning and Starmer has been abducted. The helicopters. At this point, I don't care if it's Trump or Putin that does it. Just get Starmer out. Well, that's an interesting point you say that, Annette, because this YouGov poll says that his disapproval rating is 70%. So 7 out of 10 people can't stand him. And I was making the point earlier that I can't remember any other politician who was like this. Politicians are usually Marmite if they've got any character at all. Some people love them. Some people absolutely hate and despise them. So you got Jeremy Corbyn, for example, George Galloway, for example. Going a bit further back, well, there's loads, isn't there? There's loads and loads of them. But Starmer, do you know anybody who says, well, actually, I think he's all right? He's a bit boring. But even if they say he's all right, they go, he's a bit boring, but I don't know. What is it about him? What is it that he hasn't got that's making him such a useless leader and so unpopular? And obviously there's all the U-turns and the lies. But what else is it? What is it? Is it his personality? Pete Frederick Hiller says Trump. Thank you very much indeed. Richard Taylor says the former. I presume that means Trump. Thank you, Richard. Pamela Millett says he wants to be involved in war just so he can stay in power. What Trump? Well, yeah, that's true, actually. If this did elevate now and accelerate into proper conflict, the Russian situation, or indeed the Ukraine situation, everyone would be too busy thinking about that than getting rid of Starmer. But I think the damage that he's doing every single day has to be addressed. He's a man, 70%, 7 out of 10 people can't bear him or what he's done. I know that it's not democratic in that sense and therefore as scientific as a general election. Of course it isn't. But I've never, ever, in all my radio and TV career, known a leader who was so universally hated. What do you think? You may want to comment. I'll take it if you do. Pete Frederick Hiller, he says Trump. Thank you. John Stead is number 1. Says, no greater love hath Starmer bought for himself than to lay down your lives and your children's lives for his own personal advancement and enrichment. That's very clever. I like that, John. Thank you. You can give out the pencils at our next meeting. The coalition of the shilling, rather than the willing, should just shut it. You are irrelevant. Step aside and let Trump, the real leader, get on with it. Well, it's not so much they've got to step aside. He's just gone straight through them, hasn't he? He doesn't care. He doesn't care. It's one big club and we're not in it, says Aidan or Robert 7186 on YouTube. Listen, English BNB, why do you want to argue with me? Why? He's just now written, so I won't bother put it up. No, John, sometimes your facts are wrong. Listen, my facts were right before I went on air. You're the one coming on saying it's this. If it's so true, show me the evidence. Because I'm on air, so I don't know. So because it's my show, I don't want to get closed down by you saying something which isn't true. Or you've just heard from a mate who's in your, I don't know, your WhatsApp snooker club group. Do you understand what I'm saying? Got to have responsibility. I'm not trying to run one of those poxy internet shows where they just say any old shit. That's not what I'm doing. Not what I'm doing. If you want that, there's plenty of arseholes out there doing it. Go and find them. But get off my show. Unless you can back up what you're saying. It's like when people make single entendres about Keir Starmer. You don't know. It's just pathetic. It's the worst part of social media. When people with very limited, not you necessarily, but people with limited intelligence say, oh yeah, it's true. I've heard it. It's true. When Nigel Farage finally gets into number 10, I think people should call for Starmer to be tried in court for treason and betrayal of millions of people, British people, and their sovereignty, says John Jones. I think there'd be a massive demand for that, my friend. New World Order, one world government. Trump will be the leader. Probably true. Probably true. George O'Grady, not Trump, that's for sure. Oh, well, that's interesting. It's a different view. The question was Starmer or Trump. You're saying not Trump. So does that mean Starmer or does it mean something different? Give me a bit more meat on the bones, if you could, please. Den Spinks, Starmer has no chance of winning trust in people up and down this country. He's a sodding disaster, John. He has no idea what his decisions and the changes he's making and how they'll really affect our futures for generations. Well, I definitely agree with that, Den. He's just not, he just hasn't got the common touch. I mean, people slag off Donald Trump and other wealthy people, successful people. But Nigel Farage, they do that. Oh, he's a middle class. He was a trader in the city. And yeah, but he knows how to talk to ordinary people. And like Trump doesn't drink. He's not, you can't imagine him down the bar or anything like that, can you? But he knows how to communicate. Tony Blair, whether you liked him or not, he knew how to communicate. Boris Johnson never really said anything, but he could communicate. Starmer just can't do it. Am I right or am I wrong? Starmer should be tried for treason along with Lammy and Yvette Cooper. Did you see her today in the Commons? She's the Foreign Secretary. She didn't say a word when Starmer was talking. These are dangerous times. Starmer is 100% Fabian, says Stephen Hall. It keeps coming up, the Fabian thing, doesn't they? Thank you very much indeed. They've got 25th amendments. The UK is different. Yes, that's correct. George Radcliffe says you've now got 2,201 viewers because he's just joined us. That's very kind of you. There's plenty of videos to look at. Click on all of them. All helps me algorithm, if you understand what I mean. Sounds like helps me arthritis. All right. If you want to get on board, you need to do it soon because I did a show earlier, which you can see and listen to and download and everything else as per usual. It was just a little extra one. It's there, and you'll find it on John Gaunt YouTube, John Gaunt TV on YouTube. Whilst you're there, give a little donation, please. Come on, keep it going. And last night's show, I was laughing most of the night about some of the things you were saying about TV and TV programs that got made into films that were good. And I've got to say, the guy over in Thailand, Tony, he said the 2 Steptoe movies are the best ever adaptations of successful comedies into films. And I'm going to search them out because I value his opinion. Thanks, Tony. That was very good of you. I bet you get a bigger audience than BBC local radio does nowadays. Not yet, but I'm trying. Don't, John. Stop trying to make me be nasty. I'm for the one who loves his own people, and that's definitely not Starmer, says Jeff Redcliffe. This is a ridiculous. Nigel, can you back that up? Have you got the money to back that up in a court of law if he was to sue you for defamation? He says Starmer is gay, 100%. Do you know that, Nigel? Have you got the documentary evidence? See, this is where people get a little bit carried away, a little bit silly. And that's why I say I'm responsible for my output. So if you carry on making nonsense comments, you get barred. There's 2 million other viewers who want to come on. Kemi gave Starmer a real good going over in the comments today. I was saying that earlier. He continues to allow our soldiers, this is a good point, who served in Northern Ireland to face a witch hunt. Jerry Adams has done nothing wrong, according to him. Watch Channel 4 and say nothing. Terry, you're absolutely bang on the money. How dare this man yesterday, with his coalition of the useless, say, I'll commit troops to go to the Ukraine. Yeah, no problem. But at the same time, Lord Harmer is trying to get and leeching human rights lawyers, getting former members of the SAS, trying to ruin their lives 40 years after. That's why I don't understand about the agreement. I thought the agreement was we all move on. We all walk on. We move on from it. Why is it our troops and our heroes, yes, they may have done something wrong or bad, but why are they being prosecuted now? I don't quite get it. I hate that. Well, I don't get it at all. I hate that thing as well where people look down their snobby noses at people who serve in the army. But when push comes to shove, when the Russians land or the Chinese, they'll be wanting these same boys who they despise and hate to get out there and risk their lives. It's just wrong. Starmer wasn't informed about today as last weekend, as they don't trust him and they fear he'll go running to China. I'm not sure that's true, David, because they did use some of our military, so he must have been told. He must have been told that it was being planned. And also, is he that much of an idiot? He's seen all these American transport planes coming in and jets for the past 14 or 20 odd days, and he's not thought, I wonder what they're for. He would have known, surely. And if he wasn't, maybe he doesn't know the exact date of it, because you're right, they can't trust him because he's an idiot. What's the next one? The big boys are dividing the world into spheres of influence. We can only avoid choosing a side for so long, says John Stead. John, that's a great point, because this is where Starmer, he hasn't even yet said, I mentioned this in the podcast earlier today, he hasn't even yet said whether he's spoken to Trump. It's been 4 days. He said, of course, I'll be speaking to Donald Trump. And he gave the impression when he said that last week that it'd be like immediate. I'll just finish here and I'm going to get him on the blower. Donald, I need to talk to you about what you've done in Venezuela. Why didn't you tell me about it? Yeah, he shut the phone there without. Anyway, but it came out today in Parliament. He hasn't spoken to Trump. He's spoken to one of his aides, but he hasn't spoken to Trump. That's because Trump don't give a shit what he thinks. Clearly. Now, that's a bad thing on one level, isn't it? That's where Britain's got to. But it's no wonder after the way Starmer's treated him. See, Starmer treats him as if he's a moron. And then when he meets him, I got this letter from the king. For your golf course. Does he not think that Trump knows what's going on? Trump, whether you like him or not, is a highly intelligent man. Of course he is. You don't get to be the president of the United States if you do that. Now you've overstepped the mark. As a paid member, and I have donated to the channel, it's time to block it. Sad. Your comments are not always right, and begging for donations is not the way to go. When I need tips on how to build my business, I'll ask. Until then, and if you don't like it, bye. How much do you want back? Did you give a £5? I'll pay you back. There you are. Go away. If you're going to be like that, just go away. I don't need it. I had to be polite to arseholes like you when I was working for the mainstream media. Now I don't. I just don't. And I'm not going to be, because you're an idiot when you say things like, oh, I don't like what you said. I'm running away. It's my ball. You're like the posh kid on Radford Common who would beat up and then he'd run home to his mum with his football. I wouldn't trust, and in his Manchester United kit, I wouldn't trust Starmer to run a bloody bath. Not worth the steam of my you-know-what, John. Thank you, Tom. Jeff Redcliffe, how can they not put their own people first for housing? What a good point. Of course, that's what's happened over Christmas. They're now going to build houses for the flip-flop warriors who are arriving at Dover. You get everything if you get to Dover. I don't know. Let's go to Den Spinks. Spitting Image got him right, John. They called him Foxman. Worth a watch. Well, I don't understand that. What do you mean? I don't understand that. But thank you for your comments. What is it that Starmer put so much trust in Macron and the French? They're not doing anything to stop the migrants coming over, even though they've been given lots of money. Yeah, millions and millions of our money. And it all goes back to World War II. Says Lisa Carville. Thank you, Lisa. You're causing a bit of trouble tonight. Pamela Millett says, I'm for Donald Trump. He's doing a great job for his country and this country. Stopping drugs entering the country is the right way to go. Well, I've got to agree with that. I can't disagree. I can't believe how all the uber liberals are still saying what he did in Venezuela was wrong. Removing a foul dictator. That was wrong. I don't know. I'm going to stop in a minute because I'm getting a bit wound up. Sorry. Good evening, John. Starmer is selfish towards everyone except for the flip-flop warriors. When he stated, I'm not going anywhere. He's stubborn too. I dreaded it when Trump became president first time round. I don't think we could do without him now, though. I think you summed that up quite well, Richard. Thank you for your comments. Anybody else going to donate? You know, our radio expert or internet expert has just told us it's not the way to go. But would you like to donate? Would you like to give a few quid to keep these going? Would you? Maybe our idiot who thinks I'm doing it the wrong way, he can do one of his own podcasts and we'll all watch that, won't we? Oh. Yes, John, this is outrageous. They are the best of the best. Even an American general said that as he was on a mission with them, talking about the SAS. And now he's asking them to step up. Good luck with that one, mate. I think that's a fair point. I don't think he'll get anyone to fight for him in Ukraine, do you? It was the West. If the West had any sense, they would let the US take full control of Greenland before Russia annex it. Do you know what? I've been thinking a lot about Greenland. And I think, maybe, is it worth getting that worked up about? Because a lot of people in Greenland are saying they would quite welcome it. Also, Greenland's already got loads of bases for us and for NATO countries. What does it mean, take over it? I think what it means is he wants to be able to have a significant control. And when you look at where it is, where Russia is in relation to it, and us and the States and the rest of it, you can see his concerns. And also, obviously, he's not telling us everything. Maybe more will come out after this tanker nonsense. I am tired. I'm going to have to stop in a minute. Mark Howard, if the West... Oh, we just said that one. Nigel Parkett, historically, gay means happy, carefree. Yeah, I think we all know that, but who cares? Well done to Layla Cunningham. I hope she beats Khan for Mayor of London. I think she's a good choice. I do think... I've been very impressed with her. when I've seen her on telly. She's an operator, isn't she? Yeah, she is going to be the mayoral candidate for Reform. Starmbot, hanging on the telephone. Your call is important to one of our agents. Will be with you shortly, whilst the Star Spangled Banner plays in the background. I like your style. John Stead is number one. It's on YouTube, spitting image now, says Den Spinks. I didn't know that. I'll have to have a look. In its heyday, that programme was brilliant. Guy I went to university with, in fact, I directed his final piece at university. Steve Nallen, you heard of him? He did the Maggie Thatcher voice. He did several others as well, but then he used to like dressing up as Maggie Thatcher, and he did it. He got on that Poxy show. What's that show? It was like a talent show. I don't know if it's on anymore. Whether I might have been Opportunity Knocks, but I always remember he lost, and he tells the story, and the punchline is, "Yeah, I lost to a fat girl with a pig." And it's true. She sang a song to a pig. I can't quite remember what it was. But he did about 6 weeks on the trot. Very talented impressionist. Anyway. Den Spinks, says Richard Pope. Oh, excuse me. I haven't eaten. That's what's wrong with me. I spotted a video clip. Starmer in a pram with Albert Steptoe's voice dubbed on it. No, I've not seen that. If you find it, send me a link to that, please. Wonder what it is in the oil tanker that Putin so badly wants. Yeah, that is a question, isn't it? That is a question. Because they were desperate not to let the Yanks get on the tanker. We'll find out later. Pam Millett says, sorry I haven't donated for a while. Don't be sorry, Pam. But I'm on a government pension only, and this government has given me £1,000 tax bill to pay before the end of this month. Bastards. Pam, don't worry about it. I always say only donate if you can afford it. Don't go hungry because of me. That's daft. Khan is destroying London, says Stephen Hall. Correct. Wonder what is on the oil town. I've just read that one out. Somebody else saying Spitting Hall image was great. And Craig Marston says, John, I'm surprised. This is a very good point, Craig, that Greta Thunberg hasn't said anything about Trump and the Venezuela dictator. No, I thought she might go on another hunger strike or get on another £6 million yacht and say, I'm sailing to free the tanker one. Yeah. Where is she? Where is Greta at the moment? You'd expect her to turn up by now, wouldn't you? Hey? Because all the Palestinian mob have changed their flags now to Venezuelan ones, haven't they? So you'd have thought she'd be on the protest somewhere. But no, she's nowhere to be seen. Anyway, right. I've run out of energy. I'm just going to stop now, if that's okay with you. I'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock. And if there's something big happening overnight, obviously I'll be here earlier. But thanks for your comments. Thanks for getting involved. Please keep spreading the word about John Gaunt TV and about the show. Jackie Ward's just given me 3 red hearts, which means I can go. Thank you for that, Jackie. What was I going to say then? That's nasty. Jeff Redcliffe says she's moving on to her new toad school. Thank you very much indeed. This is funny. You know the little prick who just said, I'm leaving and you're going nowhere, blah, blah, blah. I've always had this in my career. He's now got only 40 watching. Lol. You must be watching on Facebook or one of the other channels, mate. There's more than one channel, you thick buffoon. Now, look, run along. You can say sorry if you want. All I did was say I can't read out what you've written because I don't know if it's true. I haven't seen what you said. And I'm responsible for my program, my life, my career, my children. And so I'm the boss. Let's just get it right so you understand. This is not a workers' cooperative. I'm the boss. It's got my name. It doesn't say the John Gaunt Show with help from somebody who thinks he knows, who's called Forever English, #BNB, BNB, right? Only 40 watching, lol, right? You don't own me. Do you not understand what this is about? Listen, I hope you could set up your own channel. I'm sure it'll be immensely successful. You're the guy who said yesterday, I know what you need to do to get more people and get your viewers up. And you know what his solution was? Shorter broadcasts. And I said to you last night, I don't want to do bubble gum news. That's not what I want to do. This audience is building gradually over time, and it's a loyal and committed audience. You can be part of it. You can just say sorry, or you can go off and set up your own. Now, you won't set up your own because you don't know how to do it. And let's face it, there's a lot of people doing news channels now and opinion channels who don't know how to do it. And I could start naming them if you want, but I don't think that's fair because they're pathetic and they're useless. And some of them might have a lot more viewers than me, but it won't be forever because it's built on sand. I don't have to justify myself. I don't know why I'm bothering. Anyway, let's finish off with a few people. Craig Mawson says, thank you, John. Take care. Julie Rowley says, Trump. Jeff says, well, I like what you do, John. Good work. And it's funny. Yeah. See, that's the thing as well, Jeff. Lots of people are doing this. Oh, I'm ever so serious. I'm constipated about. I'm right wing. I am. I'm really right wing. Tommy Robinson's my best mate. He really is. But they're not funny. It's just tedious. Tedious sound bites from the right. It's not as bad as watching left wing. No, it's not as bad, but you know what I mean. It's just, please, if you don't like it, fine, go away. But I'm not going to change to try and keep one or two more people watching. I've never done that in my life. Good night, boss, says David KT. Thank you, my friend. Sedum S4 says Trump. Thank you. Enjoyed this. I'm going to try and join you again tomorrow, says John Stead. Well, don't forget, you don't have to join live. You can always watch it later. Don't be cruel at Forever English. No, you don't need to fight my battles, mate. He's pathetic. He's absolutely pathetic. And do you know what? This always happens. He'll be watching again tomorrow. That's what these trolls do. You need a drink, John, so I've bought you one. Terry Wheatley. Terry, you're a champion. Don't forget, you can do that if you want. www.buymeacoffee.com// even John Gaunt. Keep going, John. You're doing a great job and with the right content. Thank you very much. I like the darts when the crowd sang Starmer is a wanker, says John Jones. John, I think that should be our new national anthem. Everybody knows the words. It's got a real upbeat tempo to it. I think it should be the national anthem. I'm with you the whole way. Trump is the best president America has ever had. I think you're probably right. Stephen Hall says, thanks, John. Thank you. And Kim Kaskini says, hello, Gaunty. Hello. Right, now please let me go. I want to watch EastEnders. And I've got a few of the things that I've got to deal with. Right. Speak to you tomorrow. 6 o'clock probably, if not later. It might be earlier. Make sure you've subscribed to John Gaunt TV. It's the best way of finding out what is going on. And can I just say thank you to all the genuine people who are helping to make this successful. It's your support, your word of mouth that makes it better. But I'm not going to compromise to grab another couple of listeners. Sorry. Bubblegum news, not for me. All right, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Don't forget to tell them you love them. See ya. Bye.